Be ready. 5 seconds. Sir, I intended to speak the portion that I am going to speak now, preferably at the end. But I think I should start my speech by congratulating the Honourable Minister of Railways. He has created a history in the sense that he has been elected from Odisha. In the last 75 years of our independence, he is the first member elected from Odisha who is heading the Ministry of Railways. He always says that Odisha is his karmasthal. He knows the nook and corner of Odisha very well and why Odisha has been neglected in respect of development of railways infrastructure. There is some legacy which needs to be corrected now, and that is being done. Recently, one of the magazines published in Odisha said that when the finance minister presented the union budget, after a week or so the railway minister went to Odisha and he announced that these are the provisions which have been made for the first time. Sir, I participated in several railway budget deliberations for the last 23-25 years. Many times I always wondered whether a train line from Balasore to Nilgiri Road will ever come. But the day when he travelled along to Nilgiri Road, then I became aware that things are feasible, things are achievable under his leadership. He, with the local member of Parliament, also went to the southern part of our state, which has been totally neglected for the last so many years. There is no infrastructure, but that is the most revenue earning area for the railways, and from there he announced what steps are going to be taken to improve the railway infrastructure. Out of 30 districts of Odisha, still more than 6 districts are yet to see a rail line. I think that all those 6 districts will also be covered in future projects. There was a minister in the central government in 1980s. When he went back to contest election after the 1977 debacle, he said that this time Fulbani would definitely have a rail line. That became a slogan there. Where did the rail line go? Now that rail line is being constructed. Of course, it is going on at a very slow pace. It needs to be speeded up. There are some issues relating to acquisition of land. Due to the new Land Acquisition Act, certain things are getting held up. But I believe that all those things can be sorted out. I would humbly like to say that yes, now we have a double engine. I am mentioning of a news report in a magazine where it was stated that in railways we have a double engine for the development of our state. The Honourable Minister of Railways had recently stated that he is targeting 96.98% operating ratio in the coming year. The leader of the Congress party was also a railway minister, and he understands very well about the operating ratio mechanism. I was also the chairman of the Railway Convention Committee, which was determining how much money has to be given to the Finance Ministry. This operating ratio was always a point of discussion with the railways and with the finance during that period of time. Of course, now we have only one budget, but operating ratio actually determines the health of the railways. So when you are targeting to bring it down to 96.98% in the coming year, that is something praiseworthy. The Honorable Finance Minister, while presenting the budget, had underlined that the Indian Railways would play a critical role as one of the 7 engines of PM Gati Shakti Master Plan. I quote her. She said, "The PM Gati Shakti Master Plan is a transformative approach for economic growth and sustainable development." So what does this transformative approach mean? Is it bringing in PPP mode, which is already there, or does it mean providing rail lines to private players as it has already been given in some specific areas? So this needs to be spelled out. The other 6 engines are roads, airports, ports, mass transportation, waterways and logistics infrastructure. We will be deliberating on ports, waterways and roads perhaps tomorrow. The Indian Railways is ready to go full steam to restore passenger traffic to pre-pandemic levels. In terms of revenue projections, the railways have expected to rack up Rs 61,000 crore from passenger traffic alone. The Honorable Minister of Railways has said that this budget is a historic budget as it provided unprecedented support to the railways, in which capital support was of Rs 1,37,300 crore. I believe this is something which is praiseworthy. During the past 3 years, the budget estimates are continuously being lowered at the revised estimate stage, while the actual expenditure nowhere even matches with the reduced RE levels. Thus, the financial performance of the railways during the past 3 consecutive years reveals that even the reduced allocation at the revised estimate stage could not be fully utilized, and this is the disease of which railways has been suffering for the last many years. The allocation is there, the budget provision is there, revised estimate is also lowered, but ultimately the expenditure is not up to that mark. Over the past few years, there has been a steady decline in the generation of internal resources by the railways, which has shifted to greater dependency on market borrowings, which is going to have a cascading effect in the long term. Repeatedly, we have stated this in our reports earlier that railways should generate its own revenue, but now you are more dependent not on internal resources but on outside resources. I believe these 2 basic aspects have been under your consideration. I also believe that under your leadership they will get proper attention. Every year, the plan size of railways has been increasing radically, but they are not able to utilize it. Resultantly, there has been a huge throw forward of railway projects. Therefore, the railways should adhere to structural reforms which have been initiated during the previous years to utilize the maximum allocation for projected expansion, upgradation, and modernization of railway network.